We make the move over to the next news video, and this one is completely focused on CM Punk, as reports popped up last night from Fightful Select that CM Punk, a return could be imminent for the straight edge superstar to AEW, as Punk and AEW have been working apparently diligently over the last couple of months to get Punk back to AEW. And Punk is even willing now to meet with Chris Jericho and the Elite to work things out and to get back on the same page to do what is best for AEW. In my opinion, I firmly believe the old Memphis saying of personal issues sell money or make money, and there is no reason why Punk and the Elite and Punk and Chris Jericho, if they can put their differences aside, why they can't make a boatload of money for AEW when the time comes. You know, Punk wants to sit down and have a conversation with them, and I think even if they do, we shouldn't find out any detail about what happens in the conversation. We should just find out that they had a conversation and are willing to work or are not willing to work with each other. But the wheels are in motion for Punk's return, which is a pleasant sight, or it is music to my ears as far as I'm concerned, because I would love to see CM Punk back in AEW, as Punk would be nothing but a help to AEW as far as them garnering the attention and maybe selling a few extra tickets for the upcoming event in Wembley Stadium in August. And now also there's rumors that if Punk does return, it could be in Chicago at AEW, at an upcoming episode of AEW Dynamite with the, I believe it's right before they head over to Canada, I presume, where they are in the name is in my head. The name is in the back of my is on the back of my tongue, but I can't remember it. But I know it's an arena up in Chicago, and that's one of the reasons why it's being hinted at that Punk would return then, because it'd be in Chicago. There also seems like a possibility, especially with the upcoming secondary show for AEW, that it does seem like a possibility that AEW could do a soft brand split where certain talent appear on one show, certain talent appear on the other, and they basically do a soft brand split with the favor of keeping Punk and the Elite, or in this case, Punk, the Elite, and Chris Jericho, apart. And, you know, basically, Tony Khan gets what he wants, Punk gets what he wants, and the Elite get what they want. That they would not have to work with CM Punk, and same with Punk and Jericho, same with Punk, he wouldn't have to work with the people he doesn't want to work with either. But they would have to pull together on live events, pay-per-views, certain TV tapings, etc. It's just the fact that they wouldn't have to do that on a weekly basis. I mean, in my opinion, if these are all grown men, and if they can work together, they should be able to work together because they're grown men. But again, that's just my opinion on the situation. I was not directly involved in the situation. I don't have direct impact on the situation. But the fact of the matter is, if all these guys are grown men and are capable of putting their differences aside and being grown men and talking like grown adults, then for the betterment of AEW and for the betterment of AEW and for the betterment of wrestling in general, they should do what's best for business and just talk to each other. I'm not saying they should do what's best for business and work together. I'm saying that they should do what's best for business and talk to each other. Do I think a brand split would be a bad idea for AEW? No. I don't think a brand split would be a bad idea for AEW. Would I be happy to see Punk come back? Yes. Do I think he should jump right into a feud with MJF and give AEW the opportunity to do what they wanted to do last year? No. I think if Punk comes back, I think either you listen to Dax Harwood and you do Punk and the FTR versus the Elite, or Punk versus Chris Jericho. In my opinion, if Punk comes back, the first feud he should have when he joins AEW is against the one of the parties that he had the most disagreements with while he was gone, or the most problems with when he was gone. Just to show it's a different situation, just to show that if they're willing to work together, then there's no telling what to expect from AEW, with the fact that two people who don't like each other or didn't like each other are now on the same page and can do what's best for AEW. And that's my take on it. Again, if you want to ask me, AEW Collision would be a welcome sight. I think it would be a welcome sight if it's an hour, not if it's 2 hours. But if you want to do a brand split, and you want to have certain people set aside, a different roster set aside from one brand, different roster set aside for another, and just shake it up from after a couple months, that's fine. Don't do brand warfare. Don't make it seem like it's two separate things, two separate entities, and don't be afraid to shake things up without drawing attention to the fact that you shook things up. Simple as that. I don't think it would be a bad idea, especially if they are bringing in a new show over the summertime. As far as what's going to happen, we're going to have to keep a close eye on that, and I will let you guys know what happens. When I know more, you guys will know more, as I think this will be a developing story for the next month or so as we move closer to the show in Chicago in June. With that being said, though, we got a little bit more to get to, that being a preview for tonight's edition of AEW Rampage, which actually the Rampage preview might come out before this video, but who knows. I also just want to say once again, thank you for the recent support on the documentary, aka the Twitch project. I do very much appreciate it, and I am grateful for the fact that you guys are more than willing to work with me on this situation. So thank you for that. But with that being said, we got the Rampage preview to get to, and I will see you in the next one.